Hello there, Soaring Eagle fans. Welcome to another short edition here. It's primarily just a little teaser, I guess I would call it, a preemptive video. We're going to head out and set up a couple of items. What we're going to do is just kind of go through a box of goodies that I've got, because in the future, next 2 videos or so, we're going to be installing a remote steering kit. Also remote throttle and gear shift, reverse forward shifting kit into our little 12-foot Marlon boat. So I've got some of the stuff with me. Some stuff is still on order, but we're going to head out to where the boat is and start working on the little console set and see if we can't get a little bit of that work done before the rest of the parts come in. So follow us along, have a look, give us a like and subscribe. So this is a bit of a teaser. Just a preemptive little video on getting that stuff installed into the boat. But I do have a little bit of time on hand today, so I thought I'd head out there and show some of the items that we do have and ready to go. And we'll see you there. Okay, here we are, just like that. We arrived on the scene here. And over where the trailer and the boat is stored at, where I do most of my tinkering around. Which I love that Soaring Eagle on the front there. Still got to put Soaring Eagle DIY in captions down below there. One of these days we get that printed off. So what I'm going to do here is just kind of show some of the items that I've already managed to bring in for this next project. And what I've got beside me here, right there. See if you can see that. There we go. Tilt that camera down a little bit. There we go. So what this is, actually a small cargo hatch for a trailer that you'd usually put on the front hitch of a trailer for storage for batteries, etc. But in this case I figured, you know what, that's going to work really handy. It's very light duty aluminum and it comes with a hinge, so I'll have some extra storage inside here for, you know, possibly a little battery and stuff like that. If we put a depth sounder and a fish finder is in here, some lights on the boat at some point in time, we could power it off of here and a solar panel and hide the battery in there and a solar panel off the side, and then it just latches shut, and then we could set the gear right on top here with a disconnect on or something. But it's actually right on the front here. Right here is where the steering wheel is going to go. So let's have a look at the box here. This has already arrived. There's some other boxes there for some of the other material that we'll go through. So like I said earlier, this is a bit of a teaser and a startup of the next video too and stuff. So this boat kit got from Amazon online. It's a good quality material here. It says Vevor. Inside there you see all the harness for the steering harness and stuff in there. So let's just get that plastic off. There we go. And so this is going to end up going right on here. Now I've bought myself a tilt bracket which hasn't arrived yet. It's going to allow this box to sit parallel to the floor, and then but I want the steering wheel angled and stuff. I don't want it coming out straight like this at my knees or whatever, so I want it up angled a little bit, and that'll go right in the center of the console right there. And I'll just show you the piece that, so it's right here. So this will mount on here, but I've got one coming that's this actually has an angle on it which will tilt it up like this, so the steering wheel can be sitting at a tilt position. So that's going to be awesome. So we'll have to toy and play with that as we engineer that into place. And then inside the box here is the steering mechanism that's going to go inside the box. So we may have to cut some holes on the bottom for all this stuff to fit in. Sorry, you're going to get a little bit of flash moment here, but I'm holding the camera and trying to dig this plastic off here. So let's just quickly move that. Come on. Okay, rip it. So this is steering assembly is going to fit inside the box here and come up through the hitch. So it does look like I'll probably have to cut a bit of a hole down at the bottom for this all to fit properly, so we can get it up above the hatch that's on here. I don't want to have to destroy the hatch, so we'll probably come up over here somewhere. We'll have to see how much of the bottom we'll have to take out for that all to fit in. And then some nuts and bolts there. And then the cable kit that controls the steering is inside that bubble wrap. And then this slide here actually goes onto the cable at the steering end, so that it has something to slide up and down, doesn't jam up and get out of the way. And then this metal arm assembly is going to go onto the back of the 9.9 motor when it gets mounted back here, and that's going to turn that motor around. So that's the steering mechanism that we've got to assemble. And then in this box here, I'll pick this up from GA. Here, I'll just give you a little flash card here. Checkpoint. So GA Checkpoint Yamaha. And Anna Showman was the gal that helped me out the counter. She was extremely awesome, really helpful. Like, let's just pull it right up here so you can see the full address. They're out of Abbotsford. Really excellent. So that's where it was really helpful in getting me organized on this stuff. So got some more steering apparatus. So no, this would actually, yeah, that'll be a part of the steering arm assembly. And then there's some nuts and bolts in there that'll go onto the Yamaha when I take the tiller off. I can't remember what's inside this box here. It's probably a whole lot of little mounting pieces. Like when we take the tiller arm off, we're going to need other support back there to hold the cables. So that's what is in this box. And then the box over here on this seat is going to hold the steering assembly that we have over there. It's going to hold that box and the dashboard, I'll call it, and hold that up. And so this is going to be my mounting plate that the box is actually going to sit on right there. And then I've organized, kind of gone through my head a bunch of little mounting bolts and stuff that I'll be needing to get it attached onto the back here and mount it onto here. So that's what this kit, I'm hoping that if this managed to get a lot of these pieces. Now there's nothing available online like this, so I just had to come up with it and get it organized to the best of my ability that we could make it happen. So today, if the weather holds off, it's been kind of on and off raining here and stuff like that, but right now it's a dry period. You can see a little bit of water sprinkles on there, but it's nothing bad. I'm going to see if I can't get some of that box mounted on here and get that box over here and put it on here. I won't get time to really put any of these other pieces on. I'm still waiting for some mechanisms to arrive. So let's see if we can't get started putting that box on today on this little short teaser video and make it worthwhile to having a bit of an opening teaser on it. Quick radio check, testing 1 2 3. It's starting to rain on me here, so this is going to be set up right on there, and it's starting to rain, so I gotta get the camera in. So that's what it's going to look like. Adios. Yep, it certainly started a downpour here. Anyway, it's much needed out in the forest, no doubt. All the farmers maybe, I'm not sure if their crops are done, but got a little bit of a dark cloud overcast, hydro lines up there giving us a good electronic charge. So I'm going to set this thing out here a little bit, see if I can't work on that console control box a little bit. Call it the dashboard or a console, but we're working outside on the grounds here and no roof cover, so we'll set it out here for a little bit and see if these rains will ease off. It did before. See you in a little bit. Alright, so first off what I'm going to do is just mount the lower leg that'll help support the console, the dashboard. That'll also bolt to the floor. So we're just going to try, I had it upside down and kind of marked off a little bit, but I'm going to, it's a little bit weird to try and center it with all these different angles and stuff, so I'm going to get some angles and measurements on this to try and center it best I can. It's not rocket science, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but I want it to look aesthetically pleasing. So what I'm just going to do, so we got 4-inch wide there, so we're going to go at 2-inch center there, and same with on this bracket here, we're going to go 2-inch center. Just trying to figure out how I can line this up best so that it's in the right location where we want it right here, but also center back and forth here. So then what I'm going to do is just measure the width of this. So we're at 25 3/4, so 12 1/2, so about 12 3/4 roughly. So I'm just going to go 12 3/4 here and just see where that goes that way. So that's about 13, so minus about 1/8 or so. So I'm just going to go 12 7/8 and see where that leads us here for center of this. So we got about 13, so minus just as here, just split hairs here. So we'll use that as a center line going that way. So now, same with getting a right angle going down here. This was my best invention here to get this center, so we're just going to go on that line, and got a little concave there, but we'll make this fairly accurate and scientific here stuff. So I'm just going to make a line right through there, and this will be on the bottom side, so if there's any black markings there later, won't really see it. It'll be upside down. So then again, this will line up with that, and I had measured it with that. So now what I'm going to do is this, I'm going to use this larger base on the bottom, put this to the floor, and we'll kind of go center of that approximately, because that again is just a supporting leg to hold it on the boat. So we're lining up the dots there with the center there, and so that's going to be close enough center for this captain. And it's going to circle those guys out, and then we'll drill those out and bolt this on. What do you think? It's going to work? How about giving it a thumbs up and a like and subscribe? And thanks for following. We'll continue on with this until the rains come back, and see if we can get a little bit more of this done together. So if I look down that line there, yeah, it looks like about center all the way down to the latch there as well. So I'm pretty confident that we found center with that marking. I'm just going to go about center there and straight back. This goes, yeah, 9 3/4. And 9 3/4. Yeah, so we're good to go. Center line 9 3/4 there and there. So that's all going to be insignificant once we mount this thing upside down, because basically this is the bottom, and it's just going to help support this so it doesn't bounce on us when we're out in the water, instead of just supporting it off the back wall onto the actual wind deflector over there. So let's get this drilled out, and I'll go get some tools and we'll get that side done. So let's drill a couple of these holes out, and I've got some good heavy duty nuts, bolts, and washers here. Maybe a little bit overkill for it, but hey, it's better to go overkill than underkill, don't you think? So anyway, we'll get these guys on there, and so these are, I think they're number 8 bolt, if I'm not mistaken, and we'll set that apart. So that's what we're going to drill out, put it on there, and see if we can get that part of it mounted. Now, lots of times what I would do is my drill bit's not too sharp. I'll first do a little tap to get center point, but seems to be staying on mark there. All right, and see if this one will do justice too. It's not on a rib, so it's not going to go anywhere except real straight down. Let's hope. Yeah, there we go. It's staying on mark. It's not moving off the drill location. Maybe just marginally, but we'll fudge it if we have to. This guy might be a little bit different. It's kind of sitting on, partially on the rib, so we'll see what happens. I'll angle it a little bit. Sounds like my battery on this one's going to come to an end, but let's see if we can get one more hole down here, and then we'll get rid of these filings. Yeah, so we see our mark there as well. That's all good. Whoop. Drifting off here a little bit. So let's push back on the drill just a little bit on the bit. Just get going to the bottom side instead of creeping up on us. Yeah, you heard that battery kind of grunting away there. Loss of its life. But I do have some more batteries here if we get a little bit more work done over there. So let's just dump those filings into a place here, and we'll sweep it into a box later. You don't want to leave these filings, that kind of stuff, on the ground, because they're metal filings and birds can look at it as food and swallow up all these filings. So we'll brush this off into a box and put it in, dispose it in the garbage. Alright, don't leave it out there for the birds to pick up off the ground, because it's definitely not good for wildlife. So let's have a look inside, see what kind of filings fell inside. Yeah, a little bit. So let's just dump those guys out here since it's nice and dry right now. Perfect. Try not to brush it too hard. Don't want these things stuck inside your skin either. But if I'd have been with it, I'd have brought a broom with me here, but don't have one real handy, and I see the rain's going to come, so I'm just going to move right along here real quick. And so this is going to go onto the bottom of the box here. Already had one. Got a washer on the bottom and the top. Probably don't need it everywhere, so let's just set one on there. Grab another washer, and the washer will give it just a little bit more strength for holding it up against the metal. That's why I always put fender washers on it. Get a little bit of that burr off there so it gets nice and snug. Okay, let's try that again. See if we can get enough distance there. There we go. Perfect. All right, before I tighten that one up too much, we'll swing that down. You know what? I'm not going to put a washer on the bottom side here, because that way I can get my locker washer on the top. It doesn't really need, because it's nice thick plating there. So if we put that one on there, then the fender washer, we've got room to put a lock washer from the inside, and I prefer that over missing it, because this isn't really a locking bolt. So far the holes are all lining up, and we'll just quickly do the same thing with this one. We'll take that first washer off. So of course this is all DIY. It's not like this was a prefabbed project. It was just free thought, that's all. And seems to be working out to my liking here. We're definitely going to just get rid of those burrs on the inside here. If you're wondering what I mean by burrs, let me just show you here. It's just these little burrs here of metal Now, if I had to drill here, I would just quickly drill it off, but we'll just see if we can knock them off with our fingers. They get underneath the washer and then it doesn't really want to lay flat, so that's what I meant by the burrs. All right, so we'll just go for that one again. Bottom side, fender washer, and a lock washer and a nut. And wind's coming up here a little bit. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Thought I might have to move my trailer here. The guy's dropping his trailer off, so he says I'm good. Let me know when I can move my truck aside. You're all good? Awesome, bud. Thanks. You've done this before. Way too often.
This is a lot easier than some spots.
Yes. Okay, let's go get yourself a nut wrench here. So, what do we think? It's probably about 11, possibly a 10. Nope, bigger than that. Okay, well, all right, my nuts in this case inside are a 13 to hold it, and we'll tighten that up. And I got a crescent here. We'll just use our spanner crescent wrench here. Hold the bottom. Or fit everything wrench. And we'll just snug that up. On all four of them. And we'll have our bottom leg assembly made. It'll make it a little bit easier to support stand there. Oh, there's those burrs that I knocked off. We'll put them in the bag there as well. Most of these little iron filings and metal that you have around, especially when you have electronics, all the better. If you had a vacuum cleaner, it'd be great. I don't have one here right now. So that's how it's going to stand. Let's see, can we see that on the bottom there? And it'll be pushed up against the, look at that, it's even pretty good balance there. Got in pretty good location. That's good. That we put on here a while ago. That was supposed to be a deflector of wind and rain and that kind of stuff for my wife to sit on. So she'll have to be operating the boat and she'll still be behind the windshield. But we're going to use that spot for our steering wheel location. So I had it nicely centered in there. So once I get that centered again, what I'm actually going to do on both sides is that pre-existing bolt here that's holding the windshield in place onto this pipe with washers, one on each side. I'm going to find the hole locations for that, and that'll be our starting point. And then I'm going to put another bolt on the bottom here, and I showed you the bolts earlier that we're going to use there. It has the washer spacings and stuff in there already, and we'll mount that on the bottom here. But I'm going to use these pre-existing bolts. I never thought of that the other day when I did this, but now we're just going to put some black markers on those ones. Let me just get the camera over here and I'll show you. Okay, so right there is already a bolt coming straight through on each side. And that's what we're going to use to hold it in place once I get it centered. All right, I managed to make some marks on the tin. They're kind of hard to see from here, but what I did is I took the bolts out that held the windshield, and there's like a pinhole there and another bolt hole there, and I put the box up against it and then used a pen with some ink and marked it onto the back of the box here. So let's drill these holes out, and then we'll put those bolts back in, and we'll see if we can't get this thing to stand up in our new location there. So this is and I think what I'm going to do is just oversize these holes a little bit, just because I'm assuming that they probably moved a little bit and don't want the stress on the fiberglass windshield. And then I can jostle this around a little bit. So I'm just going to go get another drill bit. Here we are, back again. There we go. Making this give us a little bit more room to play with their bolts and see if we line up. Now it's a matter of getting those bolts back on and getting the washers in behind the windshield. So let's see. Okay, here we are. Let's get this quickly done before another storm blows in. So we've got our windshield lock and bolt here, and what's that? Yeah, so that was, the nut was on this side, so we came from the back side. So let's pop this open. And find our hole here. So what I want to do is I want to put a washer in between this metal and this windshield. So I'm going to take that washer off and do exactly that, because we have a big flat washer in behind here. So that's going to be just wonderful. Almost like I'd planned this. That way we've got a big supporting plate inside here. And we may as well get the other one done as well. Where did I put it? Right there. And then we'll see if we can't get those 3 rubber spacer grommets on there as well. So again, there's no blueprints or plans or anything for this except just up here. And these washers here, 2 rubber washers, go between this plate and the fiberglass here to space it. So now we need to carefully line this up with that hole. Plexiglass is a little bit forgiving here. So let's, okay, so that's going in there. And we're almost coming out the proper opening there. And my leg over top. Is the front going to kick up? No, I think we're good. Okay, hopefully you got me on camera here. Get a little closer to the action here. Much closer, much nicer. Okay. Here we are. Okay, one thing I realized as I put those 2 bolts to hold this console onto the windbreaker, I need to put another rubber washer spacer in here, because when the lid closes, there's not enough room between the lid and the windshield for it to hinge on, so it won't allow it to close. So I need to put another rubber washer inside here. So we'll see if we can find out another washer here to do that. Okay, we found a happy medium here, and I had some longer bolts and got them in through the extra layers, and we still got our spacing on the fiberglass and the main panel down to keep it, and then we got spacing between the fiberglass and the actual lid, and now the lid will open and close without leaning up against the windshield and the fiberglass. So that's a win-win and stuff. So a little bit of playing around here. We're getting close to getting the console mounted, and then this thing can close up, and pretty soon we'll have a steering wheel on here, and let's get her out in the water here before too terribly long. But first of all, we got to put all the cabling in the back transom here, and also our power controls. So anyway, this little project is coming underway. A little teaser, let's call it a teaser, a precursor of the steering wheel module install. So it's a little bit lengthier than at first I thought. It's starting to rain, so I'm going to get cleared up here for the day. So I'm further ahead than I thought we would today. Adios, amigos, senoritas. Please do leave a like and subscribe. And you too can build yourself a little speedboat, fishing boat like this. Talk to you later.